Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this reflex sight effect from Half-Life Alyx. So here you can see a gun scope, and here when I look through this side you won't see anything inside it, but when I look through this side you can see there are different elements inside it. It kind of looks like a tunnel now. And when I pan through the world, when I hit some objects of interest, you can see that it is getting highlighted like this. And this will also work in non-VR games also, but I'm just showing this in VR because it is easy to control it like this. So here you can also see a scope that is projected onto the world. So you can see that it is very far away from the scope like this. And here when you look from this angle it won't be there. You can also control a lot of things with it. So now I can change the texture, and also I can change the color like this. So now it looks like this, and also if I change it to this texture it kind of looks like this. So I will provide a link in the description below where you can download one of these textures. The rest can be found on my Patreon. So here if I go to the instance, so here if I look at the crosshair, and I can just change the height of the crosshair right like this. So I can bring it into the scope or outside it like this. I can also do that with the rest of the elements like this shape, but I can move out of the scope or inside it like this. So this is what we are going to be making today. Hey everyone, this tutorial is sponsored by Art Highteka. He got a really cool channel where he shows off creating awesome effects using Niagara in Unreal Engine. So if you like to create the effects on my channel, you will really love his channel also. He creates lots of cool particle systems in Niagara, and now there is going to be a full release of Niagara in Unreal Engine 4.25. So I will leave a link in the description below to check Art Hightech out. It is a really cool channel and you can really learn a lot from there. And I want to thank Arthur for sponsoring this tutorial. He is the creator of Art Hightech channel. Check it out. So in order to create this effect, first we have to create a material. So right click, then material, then name it M underscore scope, then open it up. Now I will just change this to unlit, and now I will get a node called vertex normal. And if I just plug this into the MC color and click apply, and I will just create an instance, and I will just bring a cube into the world. And here if I look at this, you can see a green color in the right direction, a red color in the forward direction, and a blue color in the up direction. Here the color is black, but this is actually -1 value in the red channel, and here it is a value of -1 in the green channel. So if you want to see those, we can just multiply this with a -1, and if I connect this to the MC color now and click apply, you can see it has reversed because -1 multiplied by -1 is actually 1, and 1 multiplied by -1 is -1. So the other side is have become black now. So we need this to mask out the portions. So here you can see that some areas has this texture and some areas has this texture. And if you look from here, we get a totally different effect compared to when we look from here. So we need this to mask out the areas we need. Here, if I just rotate this, you can see that it is not staying with the cube. So in order to fix that, we can go here and we can just use a transform node. So transform, then connect this here and change this to world space. So the source should be world space and the destination should be local space. And now if I click apply, you can see that even if I rotate it, it won't change. So this transform node is a bit expensive. So one more thing you can do is that, so you can actually vertex paint these colors in red, blue and green and use that as a mask also. So if you want all of these sides to have these colors, meaning that all of them will have a value of 1 in their respective channels, you can just move this here and get an absolute value. So this will give us a magnitude of the values. So -1 will become 1. So now you can see that this side is green, this side is green, and this side is red, and this side is red. Now if you want to create a mask with this, we can just move this here and just select this and tick two-sided, and now change the blend mode to translucent. So now here I will just drag and type in breakout float tree components, and now if I connect this to the absolute value and connect this to the opacity also, and now if I just get a vector parameter by pressing and holding V and clicking, and I will just call this a color, and now connect this here and click apply, and now open it up, and now we can just change this color to like some orange color like this, and now you can see that both of these sides are lit with an orange color. Now if you want to mask out the insides, so if you only want this to show up in the insides, we can get a node called two-sided. Now if I just get a multiply node and connect this here and connect this here and connect this to the opacity, we can see that it is only visible from the outside and the inside is invisible. If you want the opposite of this, we can just 1 minus this. So now it will be only visible from the inside like this. Now I will just bring in our texture, and now if I go to the texture, if I just tick the alpha channel, you can see that I have an alpha stored like this. It is a different shape from that of the blue channel. So I have different shapes stored in each of the channels. So now if I just disconnect this and connect this to the multiply and click apply, we get something like this. So it is visible from both the sides. And now if I just try to resize this, we have this issue of this thing getting darker. So in order to fix that, we can go here and we can just seal this and connect this to the multiply and click apply. So it is all over the place. But now when I increase the size, it won't fade out. So that's working. So in order to remove these artifacts, we can just go here. I will just move it here, and here I will just get a subtract node, and I will change this value to 0.1. So that will remove the artifacts from our mesh. So now we can resize the mesh without any problems. Now I will just rearrange all of this. I will just bring all of this here, and I will just select all of this and I will bring it here. Then here I will just get a saturate node. So in the end it will all be clamped between 0 and 1. So we can now connect this to the opacity, and now to get the image in the inside, we can just duplicate this texture and we can get something called a bump offset, and we will connect this to the UV here. Then we will get a scalar parameter and we will call this inside height, and we can just connect this to the height, and now we will just connect the alpha to the saturate and click apply. Now we will just go to the instance and we will just play with the inside height. So here if I move the inside height, you can see that I can move this through the mesh like this. So but there is also mesh appearing all over the place. So we can fix that by just going into the texture sample and just changing the sample source to shade clamp. So it won't tile our texture now. So it looks like this. Now we need to remove the artifacts from the sides. So we can do that by getting a max node and connecting this here and connecting this here and connecting this here, and after that we will just get a saturate node So now the negative value is ignored and we will only get a value between 0 and 1 because this saturate will clamp the value between 0 and 1. Now if I just multiply this alpha with the saturated value of R, and if I connect this to the max now, we can see that because of this max node, we are getting the hexagons on the edge and we get the hexagon from the inside from this. What this bump offset does is that it will just manipulate the UV in such a way that when we move to the left or right using the camera or up or down, it will just change the UV of this texture sample, so it will move in the opposite direction, giving a parallax effect, so it feels like it has depth. The same way you can see trees or buildings moving when you are on a car depending on the distance from you and the tree. Trees that are closer to you will move faster and the trees that are far away from you will move slower. With that parallax we get a depth effect. So now if I just click apply, we can see the inside mesh here. I can just move this inside like this. Now if I look from here, I can move it like this. So now I don't really want it to appear from here, but only from here. So in order to do that, we can go to the scope again, and here we have a two-sided node. We will just bring it here, and here from the saturate I will get a multiply, and I will connect the two-sided node here, so it will only appear in the outside of the mesh. And now if I connect this to the apply, so here you can see our mesh inside, and from this part we won't see that, so only if we look from this portion we will see it. So here you can see that if I increase the length of the cube, the intensity of glow of the hexagon changes. So in order to fix that, we can just seal this, and like before we can just subtract 0.1 from this, so we don't really get the artifacts. So now if I connect this to the saturate and click apply, so now even if I change the size, we need to do that before the seal. So after the saturate we will seal, and here we will connect this to the subtract, and now we don't really have our artifacts and it is inside the mesh. So we want this to be only visible through this little hole here. So if I open up this texture sample, you can see that the green channel has this hexagon here, so we can actually use that. So I will just get the green channel. So here I will just do a cleanup, so it will get rid of all the nodes I am not using. And now I will just get a multiply again and connect this here and connect this to the B here, and now I will just connect this to the B here and click apply. Now you can see that it is only appearing through the hole of the hexagon here like this. Now we just need to add multiple hexagons like this. So in order to do that, we can go to the material and we can go here. I will just duplicate this and I will multiply this inside height here with a value of 2, and I will just duplicate the multiply and I will connect this here, and I will change the value to 3, and again I will just duplicate this and I will connect this here and change this value to 4, and I will just duplicate this, connect this here and duplicate this again and connect this here. Now we can just max all the alphas together, max this, then max again, and here also we can duplicate this max and connect this to the alpha and connect this to here. So here we are not supposed to connect this to the coordinates, I made a mistake. We have to connect this to the height. So now I will just move all of this down here like this, and I will comment all of this inside. Now if I click apply or save, you can see that there is hexagons inside our mesh, and from this side it is invisible, and from this side it is invisible, but only when you look through this hole. So you can adjust its height like this. Now we need to display the crosshair. So here you can see that it is in the red channel. So I will just duplicate this and kind of bring it here, and now I will just get a max node here and connect this to the multiply and connect the red channel to the B of the max, and here for height I will just create a scalar parameter. So for that, press S and click, and now name this cross hair height, and now you can connect this to the height here and click apply. So now we can just select this and just reduce the height like this. So you can project this into the wall like that. And now I will just reduce the inside height like this, or to like 11. Now we need to add the shading effect here. So it will just glow in a dim orange color, this edge. So to do that, we can get a multiply, then get a green channel, and we can go here and we can get a max again, and just connect this here, and I will just get a scalar parameter called screen brightness, and now I will just connect this to the B here and click apply. Now if the screen brightness is 1, it will glow like this orange color. So you cannot differentiate between both of those. So if I change this to 0.1, then it will be like this. So this also have the artifact problem. So we can fix that by changing the multiply here and connecting the max here and connecting this here and connecting this to the max here. Now if I click apply, so after the screen brightness max, we will multiply with the two-sided and the side. So now it looks like this, and we don't really have any other problems. So we can change this to 0.2, so it will be brighter, or 0.05, so it will be dimmer, and you can also change the color like this. So whenever you look through this, it will have a cooling glass like effect. Now to get the line effect like this, I change the texture a little bit to get a different type of line. So go to the material, then I will just duplicate this, then I will get a multiply node, and I will connect the B channel here. Remember, the blue channel has the lines. So now we will just get the B from here, and we will do an absolute. So we will get both the negative and positive values, and now we can connect this to the multiply here, and we can get a max node here. Then we can connect this to the saturate, and we can connect this to the max B here. Now if I click apply, we now get lines like this. So this is a bit different. So I thought it would be cool to have a different effect like this. Here you can see the lines down, and here you can see it in the sides. So now we will make the crosshair spin and also highlight objects like this. So for that, we will go to the material, and to make the crosshair spin, we will just go here, and here we will type in rotator, and we will connect this here, and we will change the speed to 1.5. Then if we just save this, now here you can see that our crosshair is spinning, I will just bring it closer like this. Now to highlight objects. So to highlight object, we need to add them to custom depth. So in order to detect custom depth objects, I will just select this cube and here I will type in custom and I will click render in custom depth. Now I will go to the scope material and here I will just right click and type in scene texture and then I will change this to custom depth and I will duplicate this again and I will change this to scene depth and now I will just do a subtract and now I will just seal this and saturate this to clamp the value between 0 and 1 and now connect this to the opacity and click apply. So here you can see our object through the mesh, but only that object, everything else is this bright color. So here you can see that we have successfully masked out the object using custom depth. Now in order to give it the highlight effect, we will get a Fresnel node. Then we will get a scalar parameter by pressing and holding S and clicking, and we will call this power and we will duplicate that and I will call this BRF for base reflection fraction and now I will just duplicate the scene depth and I will change this to world normal. Now I will just mask this and connect this to the world normal and connect that to the normal here and we can just 1 minus this. So this value will be 1 and now we will just multiply this with this value and we can connect this to the opacity and click apply. So now we can go to the BRF and the power. I will change the power to 2 and I will just reduce the BRF like this. So if I just bring in this mesh like this here near the cube and if I just select this, it is already in custom depth. So now if I just look through our material, you can see that it is highlighted like that. And if I change the color, you can see that you can see the highlights like this and also I can just change this value to get different highlights like this. So now we will just max this together. So here in the saturate, we will connect this to the opacity and we will just max and connect this here and I will just bring it here and connect this to the multiply here and click apply. So now no matter wherever you look from, it will be highlighted like this. Now you can play around with the values to get a result you want. Now we don't really want it to get highlighted when we look from here. So in order to fix that, so already we have a screen texture here for the screen brightness. We can just multiply that with this like this. Now when you look through it, it will be highlighted. And to prevent it getting highlighted from here, we can go to the material and we can multiply this texture with this value from the red channel, this one, and click apply. Now it will only get highlighted when we look from here like this. and other places it won't be highlighted. So now we need to make the edge a bit darker than the inside. So to do that, we can go here and we can get a layer and connect this here and connect this here, and we can get a multiply, and we will connect this here and connect this here, and we will multiply this with a value of 0.1, and for the alpha we will just connect this multiply here and click apply. So now the edge will be, so now the inside is actually darker. So actually to get the opposite effect, so here we made a mistake. We were supposed to connect this to the alpha here and click apply. So now the outside is very dark. So to solve this, we can actually get a parameter and we can call this edge brightness, and we can connect this to B and click apply. And now we can change this value to 0.5. So now the inside is kind of darker. So to fix that, we can just get a saturate node here and connect this alpha here and connect this to the alpha. So now it is fixed and we have our new effect. So if we just bring in a sphere and if we just look through it, it won't be highlighted. But if I set the sphere to custom depth, so select this and set this to custom depth, it will be highlighted like that, and if I untick that, it won't be highlighted. So I think that's it for the tutorial, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you want the project files, you can support me on my Patreon. Thanks.